Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, your source for Ford news, update, and information, including your Bronco and Bronco Sport information on a Wednesday. And we're going to talk about a subject that's kind of dear to my heart, and that is Bronco Off-Roadeo. Now, of course, first, before we get into that, if you like videos on the Bronco Sport, or any other Ford vehicles, make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our videos as we go through these. Now, let's talk about this. We're going to talk about something, a new experience for Bronco Off-Roadeo. And so for those of you who don't know what Bronco Off-Roadeo is, it is an off-road experience that you get, that Ford provides to people that have purchased a Bronco, and maybe even people that haven't purchased a Bronco or are thinking about it, because they have some experiences, some half-day experiences where you can experience it as well to see if, and test out the Bronco off-road and everything. But it's a great way for you to see the technology on the vehicles and to also learn some of the terminologies and learn how to off-road yourself if you purchase a Bronco, because these are made to go off-road from the factory, which is really awesome. So, but Bronco Off-Roadeo has come out with a new experience that is available where you can take your own Bronco. So we're going to pull this up and talk about this. Now, last night I did talk about this. So if you're seeing a second video about it, we on our live stream last night, about about an hour in, we did get into talking about this topic. And I had Ali Dubois on, as well as Sarah, of course, as my co-host on the live streams. We were on, and we were talking about this experience and how different it is from Bronco Off-Roadeo and those Bronco Outpost events that were going on as well. So check out that if you want to hear more discussion about that. In this, we're just going to go through some of the basics so you know exactly what this is and why maybe you want to do this, and maybe you want to go ahead and go through with this. So let's pull this up right here. So there we go. So you can go to bringyourownbronco.com. So bring your own Bronco. That means I can take my Bronco to Bronco Off-Roadeo and use it on the trails with this different experience. And I do like this. Click up here on the top. I love the logo, by the way, too. At the top, you can a couple different things. You can look at your different experiences. There are 2 different experiences, 3 different locations. So we're going to talk about that in here. About the different experiences and what they are. Now, whichever experience you choose, it is a 4-hour experience. So you get 4 hours, probably in the morning, maybe afternoon. I don't know. It does have the dates. We can look into that in just a little bit. It's also going to be $495 plus tax. There is one of these that doesn't have sales tax. So if you go to one of those states or one of those, and then so one of them, they're different prices because sales tax is different for each state. So you'll notice that when you go to do that. And then so also with that, you're bringing your own Bronco. So up to 4 people in your Bronco. So you can bring your family, bring your spouse. It doesn't cost extra for them. It's $495 for the Bronco and the people in it. The Bronco has to be registered to you, or you have to have permission from the person it's registered to be able to do this. So you could take somebody else's Bronco, borrow their Bronco, as long as they're okay with it. The Broncos will be inspected when you get there. You will have to have a valid driver's license as well. 18 years or older to drive the Bronco. I think 12 years or older has to be in the Bronco. So you can't bring young kids with you. So they do have to be over 12 years old to ride with you, which is crazy. It's your insurance, right? You have to have valid insurance as well, all that good stuff, just like you would if you're driving your Bronco off-road. So anyway, so there's that kind of tidbits of information of that. Now, the locations are Moab. You do have Moab, Utah, and we do also have New Hampshire, and that is at the resort, the Gunstock Ski Resort, I believe. And then we do have in Texas at the off-road facilities in Texas. So in Hill Country, right there in Hill Country. And I've been to the Texas one twice, been to Moab. I've been to New Hampshire. I've been to actually every location off-roading on doing this. And I could say all of them are really special. All of them are unique. What you're going to see a lot of rocks, a lot of slabs, and Moab, New Hampshire, a lot more in the trees, nice trails. You get a lot of that. You do get a few granites, but not much. And then Texas, I feel like it's a little bit of both. You get some rocky terrain, you get some rugged terrain. So I feel like it's a good mixture of both if you're wanting to get a little mixture of both. So now let's talk about the 2 different experiences you get. So there's a next level off-road in an off-road advanced recovery. So now this, a lot of the times they feel like this experience is really centered towards two different styles of people. One of them could be the person that's been to Bronco Off-Roadeo once, has gone through the full day experience as an owner, and has basically the basics, and they know what they're doing. And so coming to this, they can do that next level off road and take it to the next level, right? Which is great wording for that. And that there, it allows you, it's going to be 4 hours where they're going to teach you more advanced stuff. So you can see some of the skills covered there, learning how to use your goat modes, that trail control with intent. My wife uses it more than I do when we're on the trail. She remembers, hey, can I use the trail control here? I'm like, this is a great way of using that. I don't even think about that. How to engage and understand your electronic lockers, right? If you have them, how to, maximizing visibility with the rock crawl camera and the spotter communication. If your vehicle has a camera, right? I don't have a camera, right? Reading the terrain and picking the safe and effective lines. I forgot that one is at the top there. Executing smooth ascents and descents, and breakover management, maintaining mechanical sympathy, the throttle, brake, finesse, right? Traction control, all that kind of stuff. And content will be modified based on the vehicle's present. So they like to ask you, what is your vehicle like? What do you have? I have a big bin. I only have a rear locker. Great. So now we know that. So we know, hey, we might need to avoid this or that spot if it needs a front locker to execute it, right? That kind of thing. Oh, I don't have a locker at all. So they like to do that. They'll cater that experience. They do have a minimum of 4 Broncos have to be signed up for this. So if you do sign up, you do a $50 deposit for this to get to sign up. Sets that deposit. Now, if there's not enough Broncos, they will refund yours back or ask you to pick another date, and hopefully you can get a group enough of them together. So it has to be at least 4 Broncos to be able to go and do this. So shouldn't be too difficult, I think. Now, another type of person that would be on this is people that have been to off-roadeo, but also people that maybe got a used Bronco and that off-roadeo experience was already used, as well as maybe you got a new Bronco and life just gets away from us and your registration expired and you weren't able to use it. Well, you can do this. $495 is cheaper than the half day experience, which was $795. And I think that is a great way to doing that. If you're wanting that kind of experience, I say do the next level off road. They're going to cater that to you. I won't be too advanced. I think they'll do what they need to accommodate everybody. So if you're somebody that hasn't been to off-roadeo, choose this one. I think you'll have the best experience so far for that. So, but there's also this other one, which I'm really intrigued by, and that's the off-road advanced recovery. Now, when you go to Bronco Off-Roadeo, the full day Bronco Off-Roadeo, you do learn a little bit about recovery. They may be covered a little bit. They show you some of the different tools to use for recovery, but you probably they're not actually taking you through it. You're not doing it firsthand. So this one here is helping you with the unexpected. Now, I've gone off-roading a lot, but I've never had to do a recovery of my vehicle or somebody else. And so I'm really intrigued by this going, you know what? At some point, I'm going to need to recover myself or somebody else. I really need to know how to do this. So I'm really interested and intrigued by this. And they do say it'll be a lot of recovery. You'll need to get out on the trails. So there will be some of run on the trails, but the focus will be on management, how to use winches, how to use the tree saver, how to use, it shows you it talks about it all right here. Executing the winch recoveries with spotters, performing a trail assessment for the risk evaluation, because maybe you don't want to pull from there because you might end up tipping your Bronco, right? Understanding that. Again, it does say that recovery geometry, angle, anchor points, tension, that kind of stuff. Recovering safely with or without a winch equipment if you don't have it, right? Maintaining the recovery gear, how to do that. So going over that. So I think this is a lot more advanced. Why they call it advanced recovery, right? But great way of doing it. It is hands-on. So they're not going to show you how to do it. They're going to have you do it, which I think is great. And this is a great experience. Now, Bronco Outpost is a great event they did last year where they used a lot of the Bronco Off-Roadeo trail guides at some trails in different areas of the country. And this is different than that because they basically were trail guides taking you on the trails. They're on this here is more advanced skills. helping you with advanced skills, helping you with recovery. So I do think that this is different than a Bronco Outpost. And I actually did talk to Amy and Mike Clouds from the Texas Off-Roadeo location. Great people, by the way. They're Hammer and Ace on the trail. And I did talk to them about this because they are going to be having this at their location, at the Texas location. And I did ask them, I said, now, how is this different? How is it going to be different than like the half day? How is it different than a full day? How is it, I really kind of, not really drilled them, but asked a lot of questions. And this is a cool experience. They're really excited about this. And I do like the fact that you take your own Bronco with their own technology. So like my Bronco, I only have a rear locker. So when I go to these off-road experiences, like the last one we went to, we were in a vehicle that had a front rear locker. And luckily, though, we were with Amy, and so she asked, "What's your Bronco?" I says, "We only have a rear locker." She goes, "Okay, we're going to try not to use that front locker the whole day because your Bronco doesn't have that. We don't have a front camera, right? Because we have a big bin. So, knowing that you don't have that, so not to utilize that front camera, right? That kind of thing. And so I think that's great. They were able to do that then, but in this case situation, not everyone that you get a chance to do that. And some people, they get, hey, I want to get into Badlands. I want to see what that sway bar disconnect's like. Right. So you might want to do that. This way you're able to use your Bronco saying, hey, I want to do more off-roading with my Bronco. So I want to go next level. Let me take my Bronco there so you can help me learn how to use my Bronco with the mic technology I have and how I can do that. Because, when you're in a situation where you're in a rear locker, you don't have a front locker, but yet maybe you can still get through that obstacle without that front locker with the right other techniques instead of using the technology. So anyway, I'm kind of excited about this, as you can tell, because we're kind of going on about this, but very good experience. You can sign up right now through this. So when you go over here, you can pick your path. You can, let's say for me, like I want to do advanced recovery. All right. Cost is $495 plus tax. Let's say I want to do Moab. So I click Moab and it lets you know that the $50 deposit. Right. Actually, I think it tells you the price somewhere in here, what to bring, cancellation, that kind of stuff. We kind of covered some of that stuff. And then it shows you the dates that it's available. So you can sign up ahead of time for the different dates. Hey, you know what? That's going to be a good time. I can do it right there, and then add that to your cart and purchasing that. So you can see it's $528.91 because that's the sales tax for Moab. If I choose a different location, let's go back. I think it's New Hampshire. That's no charge. So New Hampshire, you'll see, is $495. So they must not have sales tax in New Hampshire or something. But there you go. So that's how you would do that. Real easy to do, real easy to navigate. So bringyourownbronco.com, a new experience for Bronco Off-Roadeo. And I think it'll be a very popular one. And there are a lot of people that have been to Off-Roadeo. They haven't purchased another one. They maybe don't want to pay the $795 for that, but hey, this is very intriguing. It's only $500. Take up the four people in your Bronco, and different people can drive. So you're like, hey, you want to go with me? And then you each pay $250, right? 2 people. Maybe you take 3 or 4, and you can divide that cost between those 4 people. So this is a great way to be able to do this and do a little more off-roading, get a little more experience, because maybe you're apprehensive to go with your local group, because maybe you don't have that abilities and you're just afraid to do that. By the way, don't be afraid. Go. There are a lot of other people that will help you. The Bronco community is fabulous. They're welcoming to everyone, and they know there are a lot of new people to off-roading in the Ford Broncos, and they're very welcoming and want to help everybody out. So go to those groups, go to those drives. It's always fun. So anyway, we've always had a blast doing those. So there you go. That's what I have for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, you can purchase a Bronco from us. And remember, don't forget, every Bronco Sport that's purchased at Lawn McArthur, even with employee pricing, even with we have below employee pricing, we also want to help you get to the full day Bronco Off-Roadeo that is free with your Bronco, and we'll pay for your expenses to get there. So this is a little separate deal here, but if you purchase a Bronco with us, we'll pay up to $1,000 of your expenses reimbursement to get to Bronco Off-Road. In fact, we have some friends of ours that have already booked and are going next month, and we're going to reimburse their expenses to go to the Moab location. So they're really excited about going. They bought that Strop Bronco that I did a video on not too long ago. They're real excited and are loving that Strop Bronco, by the way. So anyway, that's all I have. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of these videos. And until the next video, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.